Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're profiling Nimal Perera, the well-known Sri Lankan investor, chairman of NP Capital Ltd.
Yeah, quite a figure.
Definitely. It's often framed as this classic rags to riches story,
Yeah.
marked by a, pretty legendary appetite for risk.
And this philosophy that really goes against the grain, doesn't it? Sort of instinct over analysis.
Exactly. So our mission today, for you listening, is to kind of trace that path. How does someone go from being this powerful corporate player to a fully independent investment force?
Right. And to really get it, we need to break down his career. There are these two very distinct phases, and understanding that shift, that pivot, is key.
Okay, let's jump into phase one then. This was that, 17-year operational partnership?
That's right. It really kicked off early 2000s when he teamed up with Nimal Perera.
And it was described as symbiotic, yeah.
Yeah.
Became this crucial operational guy, strategic thinker inside the Valuable One group.
A massive group. And they got this reputation, didn't they? The takeover masterminds.
Yeah, pulling off some complex acquisitions. The big one people mention is Haley's group. That was huge in South Asia.
Absolutely. But here's the critical thing to grasp about those 17 years. The nature of his influence, let's say.
Okay.
He had these massive titles, deputy chairman of Valuable One, MD of Royal Ceramics Lanka, big roles.
Sure. Sounds powerful.
Immensely. And the sources are clear on this, when he eventually walked away from those firms, he didn't own a single share in them. Not one.
Wow. Okay. So his power was purely strategic, operational,
Mm-hmm.
driving value for others.
Exactly. It wasn't built on his own capital ownership in those specific ventures.
Which makes the shift to phase two even more stark.
Right.
March 2017, the partnership ends.
And it was abrupt, a complete break. He resigned from, everything. Royal Ceramics, Haycarb, sold his stakes in Pan Asia Bank too.
And that's the moment he goes all in on his own thing, NP Capital Group.
Right. And the mission flips completely. Now, it's explicitly about acquiring controlling stakes, his own capital, his own control.
That's a profound change in strategy, from influence to ownership.
It really is. It moves from maybe the security of being indispensable operationally to the ultimate security of direct capital control. For someone watching, learning about investment careers, it poses a big question.
Longevity, right? Independence versus managing for others.
Precisely.
And this independence, it seems to directly feed into how he operates now on the Colombo Stock Exchange, the CSE.
Yeah, he's seen as a top trader there.
He even calls himself the biggest online trader, managing his own account day to day. Very hands-on.
It's high frequency, definitely personal. But interestingly, he balances that tech side by also working with multiple stockbrokers.
Why? What's the logic there?
He says it's to feel the pulse of the market. So it suggests this blend, quantitative action, but also that human network, that feel.
Okay, but here's where I find it a bit paradoxical. Nearly 2 decades mastering operations analysis for huge companies.
Right, deep corporate experience.
And now his philosophy is perseverance and instinct, relying heavily on instincts and gut feeling, and that huge risk appetite. How do those fit together?
Well, I think that's the core of it. His conviction seems forged in, failure, actually. He's open about it. Says his portfolio got completely wiped out twice. Market crashes, margin calls, the whole deal.
Twice. Wiped out completely.
That's what he says. And crucially, he doesn't see those as just disasters. He frames them as tuition fees. Necessary losses that actually strengthen his conviction, sharpen that gut feeling for the next high-risk move.
So the failures fuel the instinct-driven approach.
It seems that way, and it explains why he explicitly rejects following, technical charts and analysts' research reports.
So what does he look at, if not charts and reports?
His personal analysis sounds quite meticulous, actually. He digs into fundamental values, specifically net asset values, NAVs, dividend yields.
Okay, fundamentals.
But combined with a really careful look at a share's liquidity. Can he get in and, more importantly, get out quickly if his gut tells him to?
Right, the exit strategy.
And this analytical independence, this trust in his own process, it really drives his counter-cyclical view of the market.
The idea of buying when others are panicking.
Exactly. He sees major crises, something like the COVID-19 pandemic, as a phenomenal, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yeah, for investors to grab assets at a bargain, as he puts it, to potentially grow wealth by 30 or 40% when everyone else is running scared. It makes you think, right? When the market's tanking, how much conviction do you actually need to be a buyer?
A lot, I'd imagine. And his advice looking forward reflects this boldness. He encourages people to use the current low-interest environment.
Borrow and invest, basically. Embrace debt to fuel growth.
And for businesses, he really pushes digital transformation aggressively.
Yeah, that seems key to his future outlook. So if we boil it down, Nimal Perera is this mix, isn't he? Deep operational skill, honed over years.
Combined with this incredible personal risk tolerance.
And an instinct-first approach, all channeled now into his own independent success through direct capital control.
Okay, so here's the final thought for you, the listener, to consider. Perera consciously shifted gears. He moved from a position of huge strategic influence, but without owning the capital, to one where capital ownership and absolute control are everything. So, for someone ambitious, learning the ropes, which path offers more resilience for building long-term wealth? Is it delivering that operational value for others, or is it focusing laser-like on direct capital acquisition from the get-go, something you chew on? That's your deep dive for today.